Hello, this is Azrael Ratz, CEO of Ratz Pack Media. In our last video over here in the YouTube card, we talked about really great tips on how to get more Snapchat followers. So I want to continue that discussion in this video. Something I noticed on Cyberdust is that when you have a birthday or an anniversary, a lot of people like talking about you and wishing you happy birthday. On Facebook, it's one of the main things that people used to do for years. One of the only reasons for people to post on your Facebook wall was to wish you a happy birthday. So just make sure that people know it's your birthday, and then hopefully they will then wish you happy birthday on your birthday. The next thing that you should be doing is creating content about Snapchat. Right now, people love talking about Snapchat. In fact, from what I understand, I was not at South by Southwest, but the majority of the conversations happening at South by Southwest had to do with Snapchat because people love talking about Snapchat. There's no other platform now or that's been around for a long time that has had so much conversation about the platform itself and how much people want to use it. So what that causes is people who like Snapchat want to share articles about Snapchat. So if you create videos like this video and like the last video that I made about Snapchat, it's very likely that one, a lot of people will be searching that content on YouTube, and two, people that find the content will want to share it because there are definitely a lot of people that want to show how great Snapchat is, so they share a lot of articles about Snapchat. So if you're creating articles on Snap about the topic and videos about the topic, it will be very likely shared. Make sure to include your Snap code and your username on the article, and then you'll get a lot of followers that way. Another thing you could do is, just like we talked about before, shouting out people and making sure they know. You could write an article, so that will be shared, an article that has people's Snap codes. List a lot of people, or just have a small group, say 7 people that you should follow on Snapchat. Here's my article, and I can list out really great people that you should follow. And what you do here is both good and slightly strategic in that you try to include people that are very big name people and people that are not as big people. And by doing that, the people that are not as big will definitely share the post because they'll be so appreciative that you included them in the list. And the bigger people, the likelihood is they won't share it, but your list will look slightly bad if you don't include the biggest names in marketing if you're a marketer. And the same thing is true if the biggest names of artists, yes, a lot of people will complain. Why do the biggest people always get shout outs? The reason is because they're usually on the higher tier of quality, and that's why they get shout outs, because it looks bad on a list if you don't include the biggest names. If I create a list and don't include Gary Vaynerchuk, people will say, what kind of list is this? It doesn't have Gary Vaynerchuk in it. That's unbelievable. So what you should do is include a mix of people who are on the higher tier and also people who are on the lower tier. Doesn't mean they're worse quality people. It just means that they're not as followed people, not as known in the sphere of Snapchat. So write articles that talk about Snapchat and also articles that talk about people on Snapchat that will get them to probably share that article. Another thing that's really important on Snapchat is much like almost exactly the same thing as Cyberdust, which is that your feed, the feed that you see, is totally and completely based on the time the person sent the last snap. So if you post 5 snaps all in a row at 10 in the morning and then you never post again, your Snap story will show up lower and lower and lower on the recently updated page of stories. So what you need to do is include extra pieces of story throughout the day to raise yourself up. So yesterday, in my conversation on Snapchat about how to get more people on Snapchat, what I did was I actually spaced the story out over the entire day. I think over about 10 hours, I did 3 videos, 7 videos, 12 videos, 2 videos, and by doing that, I got myself higher up on the ranking, and it ended up happening over 50% of people actually viewed the entire story because it kept on showing up higher on the story feed. And that is a really great way to make sure that your content gets seen because you show up higher and higher. Another thing that you should do on Snapchat is you should save your Snap story. So to do that, go into the storyboard. On the top right over here, there's a button that drops down. It's 3 little dots. You click that, and then to the right of that button is a circle with a little arrow pointing upwards. Clicking that will save your story onto your phone. Now you could take your story, put it on your computer, throw your Snap code at the beginning and the end of it, and share it on YouTube. By doing that, hopefully people will watch your story, follow you on Snapchat. Another thing that you could do is go old media with your snap code. You could print it on a t-shirt. I actually know someone that for a living prints you snap codes on your t-shirt. So you could do that. You could pay for a billboard. I actually saw a Facebook ad with a big company in Israel targeting me to follow them on Snapchat. So these are things that you could do. Use other medias, advertise on other locations. You could switch your Twitter profile image to your snap code. The same thing on Facebook, the same thing on Instagram, and the same thing on LinkedIn. And you could include your Snapchat URL in your Instagram or on your Twitter, and what hopefully will happen is people will click on it and follow you on Snapchat. So there's tons of ways to get people to follow you on Snapchat, and by using these tricks, and I know, okay, I'm gonna say it as the last one because I know that if I don't include this one, people are gonna shoot me. If you don't have good content, you will not get a lot of followers. You need to create good content. You can't just use all these tricks and hope that you get lots of followers, which I'm sure happens. I'm sure that there are people who just get tons of followers by using these tricks and nothing else. But you need to actually have good content that people want to watch, because by doing that, people will want to watch your story, and then people will say, wow, really great story. Check out his story or her story. And then that will get more people to watch your videos. If you don't have good content, this whole strategy falls apart. So just make sure to actually put good content on your Snap story. And I hope that you learned a ton in this video. There's a lot of stuff. You might have missed stuff, so go back and watch if you missed anything. I do have a few more tips, but I think I'm gonna include them in another video. And if you have any other tips that you think I missed, or you have an article about Snapchat that you think I should read, or a video, put it down below in the comments. And again, if you have a Snapchat account, please put the link and the image below so that people can follow you, and then I could follow you, can learn about you, and then we can engage, and we can know each other, and then we could become friends, and then we could do Snap story things together, and it'd be really great, and then everything will be fantastic. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like and share and thumbs up, and I will see you in future videos.